Using the video allows me to encourage people to take action, a very specific action. In terms of the bottom line, it's transformed it. It's more than 10x'd it.
Joining me this week is Dr Jonathan Ashong-Lamptey. He is a client who I have coached, and we talk about how video has 10x'd his business. Welcome to the Simon Says Video Podcast with your host, me, Simon Banks, where we talk about all things video and how this powerful medium can help you grow your business. We focus on how you can get a return on any video content you create. We talk about strategy, production, content, distribution, marketing, how you can get visible, gain new leads, and get new clients. And now, on with the show. I'm joined today with a colleague and one of my students, Dr. Jonathan, and I've been working with him for the last year or so. And I want Jonathan to introduce yourself, and then we'll go into how you're finding or using video for your business.
Great. Well, Simon, thank you for inviting me to participate. I'm Dr. Jonathan. I work with organizations to make them inclusive, and generally I'm known for transforming the workplace so everyone can reach their potential.
And then tell me about your video journey. How long have you been doing video for, and how did you start?
I'd say I've been doing video for about a year and a half properly. I started towards the end of 2019 with the guidance of yourself, Simon. So I very much appreciated it. So I knew that, well, you had been telling me you've got a book, Get Video Right. And so I read the book, but not as much as I should have, if we're being absolutely honest. But I remember you were telling me about the importance of video and how it's engaging and powerful for engaging the public, engaging clients, just basically sharing a message. Now, the reason I thought this was useful for me was because I've got a podcast. It's called The Element of Inclusion. And every week we inform, we educate, we use applied research, we use thought leadership. And I thought this would be a way to help me even further. So having spoken with you, you offered me guidance and I attended your course, and that really helped. It changed everything for me, frankly.
And how did it change? What changed?
I would say everything changed for me because I've got a small business. And at that time, my podcast was probably one of the biggest ways that I connected with people. If we take a step back to 2020, at the beginning of 2020, my work is based around diversity and inclusion. And everyone who's watching this will remember, during the first lockdown, no one could really get out. No one could really connect. And a lot of diversity and inclusion work is based around connection. So everyone didn't really know what to do. They weren't really sure. People started to look at their screens. It turned out at that time, I was making videos. I was sharing my message. I was sharing my content. So people were able to find me. People were able to engage with me. And that made a massive impact on my business. The business grew. We broke every record in our business over that time, or in 2020. And it's not an exaggeration to say that video was at the heart of that.
And why do you think video was at the heart of it? What was it about video which really worked for you and your audience?
That's a great question. I think the diversity and inclusion are two of the most used and abused words in the workplace. And there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of misunderstanding. Video allowed me to be emotive. You can see I'm quite an engaging, active person. I like to share. And I've got a lot of knowledge that I want to share. And it allows me to break it down in human steps, really basic, key, informative steps. Video allows me to do that. So it's been really useful. What I didn't do was go over the top in videos. I tended to use the videos as trailers, teasers, to share information, to engage people, to move on to other resources that I've got to support them.
So you're really using video as a promotional marketing tool. And I think what is great about you, Jonathan, is that you create consistent video content. I mean, how many videos do you create and put out a week?
I make the minimum of one a week, the bare minimum. But in a month, I could do maybe 10 videos. Every week there's a video coming out. I've got a group on LinkedIn. It's called the Element of Inclusion Community. I make videos specifically for that group. I've got a book club. Whenever we have the book club, I announce it using video. If you were to connect with me on LinkedIn, I would send you a video to greet you, to introduce you to me, what I'm about, and some of the resources that we've got. So I use it prolifically.
So I see you put out at least one video a week. So what kind of reaction have you got from your audience to your videos?
Honestly, people love it. They love it. They tell me they love it. As I said, I work in the inclusion space, so I also use captions. So above my head, I'll have a title, and below I will have captions. So it allows people who, have hearing impairments to actually read as well. For those of people who want to watch in private, they can still read. So using the captions, and once again, this was something you advised me on, has been very helpful. But people really like it. They love it. They consistently comment on it.
So it's great that your video content is getting some traction and some views. So how's it actually helped you on your bottom line and actually help you to grow your business?
Using the video allows me to encourage people to take action, a very specific action. So in terms of the bottom line, it's transformed it. It's more than 10x'd it, absolutely, in terms of the bottom line. It's driven my business and it drives the engagement. I think the key thing about my business is what we do is we share a lot of content and a lot of value up front. So people refer business to us, not because we're trying to hard sell, but because we're quite informative. Video provides a way for me to be informative.
Can you imagine your business without video?
No, I wouldn't want to imagine my business without video. If anything, I'm trying to make more videos. If I could, my plan is to expand my capabilities around video. I'd like to be making more videos. So instead of 1 or 2 videos a week, sometimes 3 videos a week, I'd probably like to be making more, closer to 10 videos for different audiences that I serve. That would be really powerful, really engaging, helpful with clients. By the way, I use video with clients. I didn't even mention that because I use it in the public domain, LinkedIn, but I actually use video with my clients to share information. They absolutely love it.
When you're talking about personalized videos here, so I know a lot of people think about video, they think about my main promotional video, I'll put it onto YouTube or LinkedIn. But there's a little secret here about actually using video for a personal message and actually recording something specific, just almost a one-to-one. Explain to me how that's working for you.
It's working really well. I use it for my clients, particularly if I want to report information. We do a lot of research, training, and consultancy. So what's useful is to take some of that and present it in videos. That is really powerful. It also allows the client to revisit what we have shared. Sometimes people want to read, sometimes people want to listen. I provide that, but video is really powerful for sharing.
And in terms of your process, I mean, how easy is video? What have you found it challenging to produce videos?
So making videos feels easy now because, I've been trained, I've been on the course, but prior to that, it felt quite intimidating. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to approach it. Also, there's a lot of mistakes that you make as well. I was willing to make those mistakes. And because I was coached properly, it meant that I was able to make progress quite quickly. But now I make videos like really quickly, really easily.
No, I think it's a great place to start because a lot of people, clients or people when they come to me asking about video, they tend to overcomplicate it, especially from the technical side. And I just see for you, Jonathan, you seem to have simplified the process. I mean, you're using basically an iPhone, you've brought a mic, and therefore you're just thinking this is more effective rather than thinking I need to invest literally thousands of pounds in upgrading my camera equipment or creating my room into a studio. And I think that's a key point here is actually start simple.
Absolutely. Simple is the way to go. iPhone is really good quality. I've got a mic or a cat's tail, as you call it. I'm going to grab that. You advised me to buy one of these. I use this all of the time. Transforms the quality of the sound. I'm speaking to you on a different mic that I've got, and that's all related to the podcast. But in terms of the video, just the iPhone and this is enough.
So what would your advice be to other business owners who want to actually start creating their own video content?
I would say you couldn't do it fast enough. It's the sort of thing that once you start, you wish you did it a couple of years ago. I would say do it as quickly as possible, as frequently as possible. It will make a difference to your business. And also don't be afraid of making mistakes. Like my first videos were 70 mistakes to get one 30-second video right. Now I can turn it around really quickly, but the first ones took me ages. So that's really clear message, but you can't go, it's a no-brainer, frankly. It's a no-brainer.
Well, it's all about starting and then practicing, persevering. And I know it's sometimes difficult for a lot of people to record videos and watch themselves back. But I think the key here is just to push through the pain barrier from that regard, keep going, and then see the results.
But also you can enjoy it. You can enjoy it. Like I enjoy making videos because I enjoy the message that I'm sharing. Most business owners, they're passionate about their business. They're passionate about what they're trying to do, the people, the communities, the clients that they're trying to serve. So there's an enthusiasm that will come with that. Video allows you to show that. It doesn't always, I'm a chartered accountant by training. Accounting reports, financial statements, these aren't really that interesting when you're reading them on paper. Imagine if someone was actually explaining your financial reporting in a video, in a way that made sense. That would bring it to life. And then you've got the report if you want to see it.
No, I think I think with most business owners, we're all sitting on a mountain of value, and sometimes we forget actually just break it down into more simple messages and make a little video. You can make it really simply either on your webcam or even on a smartphone, and just really simple messaging, nothing too fancy, is so effective.
Absolutely, especially the small business owners that you'll be speaking with, they're experts. They've got incredible expertise and value. Sharing that is what counts. That's what's going to make a real difference to their business.
So what surprised you the most about using video?
I think it's how quickly you can improve. You can get pretty good pretty quickly if you put the time in.
You seem to have simplified your process as well, because I think a lot of people overcomplicate things. So just describe how you record, edit, and send your videos out onto marketing and YouTube.
Okay, so how do I record? So first off, I use, I've got a ring light, which you can see here, right? So I've got a ring light. This is getting quite technical. I've got an iPhone. I use the iPhone, I stick it in the ring light, and I use the cat's tail. Is this what we call it? It's that simple. And I will have it there. And I don't use a script most of the time, but because I tend to be speaking about my podcast, what I will do is I will take an excerpt from the podcast that I want to share. And so I will speak typically for 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds, and I will speak to the camera in the way that I'm looking at you now, and I'll practice it 2 times, 3 times, and then I'll record it. It's that straightforward. I'll record it, and then I will trim that recording, because at the beginning, you've got people reaching for the camera and all of that stuff. You don't want any of that in your recording. I will trim that, and then I add captions. And so I add the captions using some software, and that's pretty much it. So that can be less than half hour. That could be 20 minutes. Actually, it could be less than that. I like to check it, and I like to make sure the captions are aligned. But it's simple enough that I do it myself at this stage because I enjoy it. I could get someone else to do it, but I actually enjoy the process.
Now, I think that's really important to enjoy it, because I think a lot of people are a little bit nervous in front of the camera. But I think it's like, Jonathan, it's just about the practice. Now, from the back end side of terms of editing and adding captions, you can outsource that, and I would probably recommend to outsource that, because that's what I call a low value job. You can find someone overseas that for not a lot of money to do that. But for you, Jonathan, I think what you're doing, you've actually managed to create video content very quickly and turn it around very quickly. So you're not actually spending hours and hours agonizing how it works. That's because you have a process and system in place and a plan.
If you don't have a plan, then it's like anything in life. You don't know where you're going, and it takes longer. So having a clear plan, a process, a system just makes this easier, and it makes it consistent. You can do this over time. So the process that I follow, I use it all the time, regardless of the length of the video, regardless of what I'm saying, it consistently works. And it's not something that I need to change right now until I start to really expand and grow into this media company.
How has video actually helped you during this time?
So videos allowed me to engage with people who wouldn't have heard about me or wouldn't have seen me. So I use it on LinkedIn. I use it on Twitter. I'm not very active on Instagram, but I've even put videos there. And so people who don't know me are able to see what I'm doing. Also, I have master classes. I have book clubs. I record these things. And I tend not to share them publicly, but I've got the option to do so in the future. So I do record a lot of the value that I create, and it allows me to offer value later, or it's something that I could chop up. I could take the audio out, turn that into a podcast. I could take images out, use that on Instagram. I don't go overboard with all of that. At the moment, I'm still very much relying on the video because that's what people really like and enjoy.
Tell me about what you're doing in terms of recording personal videos for your clients.
So in terms of personal videos for my clients, I do that because typically, let's say I've got a research engagement. In order to engage everyone, I might speak to a group of people. If I'm speaking to 1,000 people, not everybody in the organization can make that. So on occasion, sometimes I will record that presentation. But on occasion, actually what happened, we had a technical issue. So I recorded a 10-minute version of that presentation. And it was just me speaking into the camera. I had my notes, I had the presentation there. And because it's something that I've practiced doing several times, it was very easy for me to do that. That led to incredible engagement. And actually, I would say it consistently leads to high engagement in some of the research programs that we work with in terms of our clients.
So the point here, I think, is it's not to always think of video as one to many, but actually talk about video can be actually almost a one-to-one. And I don't think many people are not doing this, actually seeing video as a one-to-one medium. I think that's something it's really effective and something to think about for people watching this video is actually, can you record a video and then send it to your client? And there's loads of platforms that you can use to do that. So yeah, I think, Jonathan, you've certainly embraced video big time. You've certainly been a great student for me. So what would you recommend our fellow business owners or people who want to basically get visible with video and to use video to grow their business?
Well, I should definitely speak to you and take advantage of what you have to offer. The book is out there. I'm sure your program is out there. The course is there. I would definitely recommend it. As someone who has been through it and used it and seen the benefits, you'll hear me say this, and I say this all the time to Simon, which is there's something in this video, Lark. It's something I say all the time because I would say over the past year, certainly on 30, 40 occasions minimum, I've actually spoken about a specific benefit I've had in my business or in the movement that we're creating because of video. And so it's like a common joke now. I say, oh, there's something in this video, Lark, because it works. And because I've been coached properly and had the appropriate support, that's what's made the biggest difference for me. There are other people who have tried it, and I could see that the videos that I created were very different from the videos that they created. So having an appropriate coach like Simon is something that I would definitely recommend.
Thank you. You're so kind. Tell me, what is your biggest tip for being consistent with video?
I think the thing is you have to keep going because, of course, it's demotivating when you've made 3, 4, 5, 10 mistakes in a row. But that's only going to happen at the beginning. After a while, you'll just make less mistakes, and some people are making no mistakes. So I'm definitely getting better, and I'm still getting better because I practice. I think some people think they're just going to be great at making videos, don't need any coaching. They don't realize the pros put so much effort into it. I think most people don't realize that.
Very few people are natural in front of camera. It's not a natural thing to do, to talk at an inanimate object and a black lens in a way. It's, very few people, and actually no one's a natural. It's only because they practice. And even the professional presenters and the actors that you see, it's the old 10,000 hour sort of mastering it. So I think a lot of people do make the mistake of thinking, oh, how hard can video be? Well, video is not that hard, but to actually master it and actually come across as being natural and creating a system and process where you can create videos at will and at ease, that actually takes time.
Definitely. Definitely takes time. It's worth the effort. It can, the opportunities that it opens are unlimited, in my opinion.
And I think a lot of people do make the mistake of just doing 1 or 2 videos, don't necessarily get the results that they were expecting, and then give up. And I think with video, I think you need to consider it as a long-term goal. Like any marketing that you do, you can't expect instant results. It doesn't work that way. The way video does work, especially if you show up and creating, I would say at least a video a week, that will build your audience over time. They will get to know you. They will start to engage with you. And you might not get much engagement or comments or likes at the beginning. That's fine. But the way the algorithm works, particularly on social media, is consistency. So if you can think about how can I post a video a week? Well, to do that, ideally, you would not just do 1 video a week, but you might what we call batch record a couple of videos a week. So I think the tip here for any business owner, anybody who wants to start using video, it is, you've got to be consistent, all right? And you've got to be brave and just get in front of the camera, and you've got to give it some time to gain traction.
Definitely agree. I think focusing on the likes or the number of people who have viewed it isn't helpful. And in fact, often more people have seen it than you think. But also there's a difference between interest and demand. Lots of people are just interested in stuff, but some of the people who watch your video will take action, and they'll take action because they've seen the video. And that's really important.
And I think, again, people get hooked up in terms of having many views and likes, but it doesn't matter. From a lead perspective or from a sales perspective, if one person watches your video and they convert to your business in terms of buying your product or services, then video works. It doesn't have to be a one-to-many. It can be even a one-to-one. So I really think that video should also look at who your audience is. Like you have, Jonathan, you really narrowed and niched down to who your audience is. You know who your client avatar is, and you speak to them rather than to appeal to everybody, which is why I think having a plan, or what I call a video strategy, in place is so important before you create any video content.
Could not agree more. And, I've learned from the best.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thanks for your time. And I always look forward to seeing your videos.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you for all your support.
Dr. Jonathan also mentioned some resources that he used while working with me. One of them is my book, How to Get Video Right. And I'll put a link in the description on how you can download a free chapter. He also talked about the course, How to Get Visible with Video. I should also put more information in the description where you can find out more. There are plenty of other videos in this series on how you can be using video to grow your business. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall catch you in the next video.